Well, hey team, we're going to do some monster artwork for this adventure we're creating, Crystals of Mabar in the Eberron setting. So give me a second here for me to check my signal, make sure I'm coming through loud and clear. I'll go through my intro, and then we'll start kicking for a couple hours maybe. So let's see where we sit at. Mic check. Where we sit at. Yeah, that's me sitting on a cough. Super do. Good one, Kearney. Let's see. Okay, so if you're catching us here in the future, thanks for showing up, future. Hi. For people that are here in the present space with me now, or that haven't been here before, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition for the past 5 years. There's a slew of supplements that I've created that are published on the DMsGuild that are linked down below, and they all have extensive free previews. So if you're here for the artwork, there's probably about 150 different illustrations among just the books I have linked down below. And if you do a search for my name as an artist on DMsGuild, I'm probably in about 100 books by this point. So you can check out those various works that have used my stock art. If you are a D&D enthusiast, the previews allow you to consume a ton of information about what it is that I've created in the past. And if you think the stuff is cool, I run campaigns from level 1 to 20 in about 200 to 250 hours using 5e. So the stuff that I build is meant to be used, and if it's presented as something that can be used at high levels, I use these things at high levels. So this adventure that we're creating uses the style or the philosophies of adventure design that I espouse here on. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but I spew wordage about my philosophies on adventure design and playing D&D and art and all the other yammer yabbers. But in particular, this adventure that we created, Crystals of Mabar, it is kind of a proof of concept in how I design adventures. There's actually a book that I was in the process of building about how to create adventures, but I kept getting into so many, like having to create examples of how like if I want to convert a like if I want to switch gears in an encounter from combat into social or exploration into combat, if I want to switch pillars during the encounter, how do you, like, what's smooth ways to do that? What's the mechanics behind that? How does that make the game flow differently? I had ideas about that, and so I needed to, like, as that, just like that one hyper-specific example, I needed to create an example scenario where you're in combat and you want to shift it into a social situation. And at some point, I kept making, like, by the time I made the third or fourth half-page example, setting this stuff up, I was like, you know, fuck it. I have all these mechanics and ideas about adventure design. Let's design an adventure using them so that when we publish the thing, I can say, hey, go look at Crystals, page 57. You're going to see what I'm talking about when the team is ambushed by the guards, how you can use your social checks to get them out of the space of attacking you into helping you. And here's a way you can make that transition happen if you need to get your team out of combat situations into more social situations for the flow of the adventure and the timing that you have at the table. For example, like as a super hyper specific example, but it happened over and over and over again. So like I said, you can just check out this book. Here you go. And hopefully eventually we'll be able to publish that book. And and it's like, that's like a 2027 project. So I suspect we'll have this and, this will be published next year. In the first half of 2024. But there's another Eberron adventure that I want to use the same formatting of adventure production for just a completely different scenario. And by the time I get around to doing it, probably early 2025, we should have pretty clear indication or confirmation from Hasbro whether or not third-party content producers like myself are still welcome to use D&D IP or not, and if the DMsGuild is still a viable location for me to do stuff with. So we'll see how that pans out, but for the time being, I've got commitments to completing projects, and we're just going to sally forth like 5e is going to be A-okay in 2024. So if the market proves wrong, or Hasbro shuts us down, fuck them. I'll just go do my own thing. So, but for the time being, if I can use Wizard of the Coast IP, I've been dreaming since I was 12 years old to make books and publish stuff and do artwork for the different campaign settings that were being produced by TSR during that era in the late 80s and 90s. It was it was my highest aspiration to have like Dark Sun art, Planescape art, Spelljammer art, to build all these things. And now through the DMsGuild with 5e releasing these settings, I can. It's a lifelong dream. It's been floating around in my head for about 40 years. So I should, pull the trigger on that. So anyway, that's how that goes. Just to clean up the rest of my my intro here. Hey, I have a channel, a Discord channel now. Where am I at? Yep, here. So you can check out in the description down below here. Like this book cover. We created this book cover back around episode 40, so here's the full playlist. You can jump back and see that, as well as all the other tokens and assets that we've created, like all the maps and stuff for the adventure to make the thing run properly like an adventure should. There's also my Discord channel now. We just started that this week to help organize playtesting and to be able to talk about the Spelljammer book we've been creating, as well as eventually start talking about Eberron in Spelljammer as well. So you can join the community there by clicking the link that we provided here. Here's my Twitter. If you're still on the Twitter X platform, you can follow me at Phil Kearney to get notifications when I go live and see advanced look-sees at artwork and stuff work that I'm doing. Best way to support the channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when I'm live. I stream live 6 days a week, up to 10 times during the week. And then on Sunday, I publish something that's pre-recorded. Right now, I'm doing little excerpt conversations about Spelljammer mechanics that are in the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that we'll be publishing next month. So you can check all that stuff out here if you think it's cool. But right now, we're creating creature tokens for the Eberron adventure. So this is a drowned assassin. It's basically an undead that it drowned, and now it wants to drown other people with it because it's sad. So we're just going to dive into here, and we're going to just do some cleanup and a little bit of detail work here, and then we'll move on to the next piece. We still have a slew of pieces. Anything that has an X next to it is already gone through second wave. We're now working our way through the rest of these illustrations down here through the second wave, and then when we get all of those done, we can go back through and start layering in color. And then doing highlights and stuff, so like shadow and blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna keep hacking away at this. I like the myconid sort of feeling, the fungus overgrowth effect that this have. There's this black moss that grows everywhere in the Mavar manifest zone where these things are creeping around. So they're waterlogged basically, and you just have like poisonous mushrooms and like fell lily pads on them. Hey, what's up? Hey, Shiner, how you doing? I got an itch on my arm. There, it's resolved now. So yeah, I am really digging where everything is coming along. And my home table is unanimous in their vote to have a Spelljammer Eberron campaign next. So that is absolutely what we are going to end up doing. As soon as the Spelljammer book is published, I can start taking time during my week to start fleshing out the campaign details. So I would anticipate that mid-late January to start going through that prepping process on Saturdays to see how I integrate both Spelljammer and Eberron into a space trucker sort of style campaign. Very much looking forward to it. And I'll have all those details on my Discord channel, so you can check the link down below for where I'm at on Discord to see all the tech that I upload and charts and tables and blah blah for all the playtesting and home stuff that I do. What you got going on, yo? Right on, thank you. Yeah, Drowned Assassins are cool. Here, I'll flash you the stat block if you aren't familiar with it already. What's that? Dungeon Master's Guild. I don't have a link to D&D Beyond. Drowned ass in. CR4. These are tough motherfuckers. 67 hit points. They tank like it. There's like 10 of them in this tunnel. They're fucking dangerous. 8th level characters that you need. It's a tight tunnel, large enough for you to lob a fireball down. They're basically there just to eat your character's action, to eat up your character's resources. Weaken you down as you go into the last dungeon. Bottom treads. The drowned assassin cannot swim, and it sinks to the bottom of any body of water. There's at one point there's 10 feet worth of water between the bottom and where your characters can get into Act 3, the final dungeon. So if you can push back or knock back the drowned assassins and then jump on a flotilla, you can actually drift across the top of the water and the drowned assassins can't get to it all. But if you fall off the boat, or you allow them to, if you fuck around too much in the hallway before you get to the water line, they'll just march their way up out of the water and just start attacking you. And that's, well, drowned assassins are problems. So, crossbow, dagger, reveal. The drowned assassin removes its mask, revealing its rotting face. Each creature of the assassin's choice within 30 feet of it can see the assassin must succeed on a DC 13 wisdom saving throw or be frightened until the end of its next turn. Undead, fortitude, hand crossbow, dagger, bottom treader, bound together. The drowned assassin shares its mind with every other drowned one within 1 mile of it and can communicate its thoughts and observations to them instantaneously without limitation. So these things are, there's a flooded portion of the dungeon, and then there's an above ground but poisonous air portion of the dungeon, and there's a clean room, clean air, dry floor environment. So there's 3 different environments with different type of hazards. The clean air environment is full of soldiers because it's an easy, they can take off face masks and stuff and be able to breathe normally in that area. So the atmosphere from a bar is so thick and sickening that you have to wear face gear to prevent you from breathing in the crystals and like the pollen and stuff that's just kind of like hanging in the air. You get into your throat, it could grow and end up causing fungus to grow in your lungs and kill you. So it's dangerous to be running around without protection, and that's an ongoing threat throughout the adventure once you get into the manifest zone. It's kind of fun. And you can take all these weird plants that are poisonous and convert them into different types of potions or salves. Like there's like the mushrooms that grow in this region. If you turn them into a paste, you can wipe them on your eyes and have night vision for I think it's like D4 hours. Cool stuff like that. The poisonous moss, if you step into its area, if you step within the 5-foot space that's occupied by the green moss, it spews a bunch of spores, and that's treated as the stinking cloud spell. So it fucks up your action economy during combat. If you are in the dungeon, there's like all these pockets of fungus everywhere that if you go down this hallway, while you're in that hallway, chances are you're either throwing up or you're eating, or your action economy is being eaten up and you're making saving throws. So that's a great place to be attacked by undead. So trigger a random encounter of an undead or demonic creature to attack you while all your characters are throwing up in the hallway. That's perfect. So the environment really helps feed into the creatures that are present and how they can become a bigger obstacle than they might be on their own. So having all the creatures have the same sort of feeling as the plants that you have to deal with. Let me fix my seat here real quick. My cushions are all fuckered up. I'm gonna fix that. My fire went out too. And it's not really cold right now. There, get the seat rearranged. There we go. All right, we're back on point. We aren't using the masks, and we're not using the hand crossbows for these versions. They're just melee only and bare exposed flesh as it is. There's no particular mystery involving these dudes. I'm just rotating between line, erase, paint, erase, paint, erase, paint, erase, and just letting the lines kind of fall where they are for like tendon effects. So I'm not really concerned about the individual results here. I'm just letting the texture and the layering take care of itself to create those like lines of muscle and sinew. And for the most part, it works for itself. It feels pretty good. But I really, really trust my body to know what it's doing in art. Like the more, like I say, the more I get out of the way, the better the artwork ends up being, because my body's reflexes are capable of pulling the images from the library, like the mental library I have, of like what undead are and like what drowned things are, and like Davy Jones's pirate mollusk crew from the Caribbean movies, and that image we just saw on D&D Beyond, like that creates this slurry of a visual reference library involving this type of a creature that I can tap into. And since I've spent the amount of time training my body to be able to act as a printer, to be able to render out the images, I render by form instead of by pixel. But otherwise, it's pretty much identical to the same process that AI uses to render an image from vague to specific. Like when we started off here, I had like maybe a third iteration rendering that from an AI, like a rough sketch, but still not high polished or cleaned up. And so we're going through that rendering cleanup process right now. And if I wanted to have like 7 more iterations, I'd be able to go through that same diffusion process where each pixel becomes more and more specific, and then defines the shape, and then the details inside of the shape, and then the details inside of that shape with the lighting, and that I can generate that. I can randomly generate that stuff through my own personal training. It's just a lot slower than what the computer can do, but I recognize the process. It's the same thing that people that use this style of art, it's the same thing what we've been training ourselves to do. Just like if you were to play a hex crawl game, you know, like where there's like random locations throughout a world map, and the characters are drifting from location to location and running into random bullshit along the way between each points, right? Like a point crawl or a hex crawl system map. We have programs now that if you program it with the right information, just click a button and it'll create an entire world, like a 500-mile world with random stuff to do every 3 miles. But I can do the same thing with all the random tables that have been in existence since first edition D&D and the DMG. I can roll that stuff out myself, analog, by actually rolling the dice and writing down the results myself, and then fusing all the different random things into my own idea. That's the exact same thing that ChatGPT does when you feed it in random generator systems and starts spitting out content. It's just that up until now, for the most part, we had to actually self-program that stuff in with what the options are, and then when we click the button, it's just firing off the answers for us. ChatGPT can now create the random list and then build off that list, merge, and then slurry it into a new idea, the same way as old school DMs do. It's just that you just press a button now and you get pages of content in a click, but the process is the same. So that's why AI is so compelling, because it really can duplicate the stuff that DMs used to have to just crack dice with for like hours at a time. The difference is though that when a DM goes through that process is because they're looking to build a cohesive story that's going to match specifically what they want. So ChatGPT, like just like Stable Diffusion with artwork, you aren't controlling what content is being produced. It's just random. And so if you read through all of that hexcrawl content and decide it's not appropriate and you roll again, you've just wasted all that time. While if you're doing an analog on your own with dice, if you get a result you don't like, when you look at the table, you probably already found two other options. It's like, I would like that one or that one instead. So you just pick one of the ones that really grabbed your eye, instead of having complete random shit potentially make something you aren't interested in. Just like with artwork, you aren't controlling what the image is. You can only vaguely... You're an art director. You're an art director, and the artist that you have hired doesn't... it costs whatever your subscription is. But you're basically hiring an artist to make pictures for you, and you have no control over what the artist actually produces. So you have to go through this editorial process of either just accepting what it randomly produced because it's better than what you do anyway. Why not? I don't give a shit. Or you have to do iteration after iteration after iteration after iteration to get it right the way that you want it, because you don't have the skill set to do it yourself. One is a complete lack of dedication or care about the content. You're basically just copy paste and give me $1. Or like, here's a pay what you want free RPG thing that I put up on my website. Join my e-newsletter so I can spam more ChatGPT ideas at you. The same as here's a few iterations of a pirate king that I made, that I requested from from Stable Diffusion, and I couldn't actually get the blonde elf king that I wanted, so I'm just gonna change my story to this redhead chick. It's like you don't have any control over it. You either have to give up and just change your story to coincide with what you see, or you have to grind forever to try to actually get the results that you want. So you can really tell, like with products that are being built with AI, you can tell how dedicated to the actual process of creation that salesperson is actually in the market, by the care that they put into the content that they provide. Or they don't provide any sample for you to judge the quality of the work, in which case they're a complete fucking shill. But it's I have a pretty high standard because I build all these things manually, so I understand the process that goes on behind all these things. So I'm not really offended that they exist, and I don't fear for my job. My job is to create artwork on stream and talk about shit. And at the end result, there's a book that you can buy about that shit we were talking about. So it's a completely different world process, but in a way, it's kind of the same, except that you get to see each pixel be rendered like 5 minutes at a time. 5 minutes per pixel, and we got 2,000 pixels to go. Good luck. That's kind of the process that we go through here on stream with the different books that I build. Plug inspirational hopes for doing Kickstarters in the future where you pay me first, and then we build this on stream after the fact, after you've already purchased your investment of, like you're the art director for this page or whatever, and then we can have this conversation about what do you want, and I can build it here for you guys live on stream. Which I am now good enough to actually be able to do pretty reliably. So that's an idea. What's up? Hey babies, what's up? Drowned Assassins, my guy. I'm gonna trim back on this a bit here. How you doing, Drops? I'm trying to find a good nickname for you since you've come around a few times. I'm very Dr. Whovian in that way. By the time I finish saying your name, whatever monster I was trying to warn you about has already eaten you. So what's a good 1 or 2 syllable word I can shout that you'll acknowledge as a threat? So everyone I know, ever since I saw that episode, I've always tried to reduce everybody's name down to 1 or 2 syllables if I can. Yeah, the whole the Planum of Var is like death, sickness, darkness, and things that go bump in the night and crawl under your bed. So it's a good little how to say, like a I just completely lost my train of thought. I am in rare space tonight, my friends. We may be on for a ride, so buckle in, y'all. Let's see where this crazy shit takes us. I literally just completely just lost whatever the hell it is that we were talking about. Just woke up in the middle of that one. There, I'll let you anthropomorphize that since you know where it's hiding. If there's like death moss hanging off of it, it would just have like this cloud of miasmic stench that floats around it. That if you get within 5 feet of it, you have to make a Constitution saving throw or lose your action from throwing up. Fun little template you can tack onto these things. It's not something we have specifically spelled out in the adventure, but the more this thing continues on, it's more like, oh, you could do blankety blank, and you could do blankety blank, and here's a thingy doodle, blardy blarb, enjoy. But there is a monster section in the back of it's like Appendix 2. Like Appendix 1 is all the plant life. I think Appendix 2 is all the creatures and their stats. So I could do like a little template area, whereas like if they're covered in this type of crystal, they gain this much armor class and have like damage reduction or some shit. And like if they're covered in this moss, then if you get within the lee reach of them, then the stinking cloud effect. Stuff like that. This one's going to be hella fun to color. I know that. I keep intending on doing books that are in black and white so I can just like focus in on this sketch style. Like so I can like crack out pieces. Like this is a decent piece of art. Like if I put this down in like 1/6 of the page, like the size of a paragraph or two down in the corner someplace, it'd be sitting there very nicely. And it doesn't take long for me to crack out black and white artwork like this. So I'm wondering the problem is that I can do color work, so I am just compelled to create in color. Like why hold back, you know? Like, well, maybe the style should hold back. So if I did like a whole book in this style, it would be a fucking great looking book. But can I actually put the brakes on myself to not work in color? Like, I've never successfully done it. So many projects, this one included, it was like, let's try black and white with this one, and like two pictures later, I'm full color again. I'm like, God, I love this. The satisfaction that I can even make color art in the first place is just, it's like I've been given a chance to do this. Why would I want to shift away from it and go back to black and white work now that I can do color? And that's a really difficult fight for me. I do know if I want to do print on demand, though, that black and white stuff like this would work a hell of a lot easier for print costs on people. So I can just do black and white, you know? Like a color cover and that's it. And I can just dump all my color into the cover and just make it fucking awesome. And I can still do like color tokens and stuff for like VTT and stuff to get a color fix, but I'm trying to think of the future, you know. I'm feeling things. I'm trying to get there with you. inspiration is a memory you haven't had yet, but you can feel it. I have a much looser gesturing style, and I can like warp, deform, cartoon style different features, and it feels right in the ink work that I do. But I'm still trying to figure out how to keep that energy, that raw feeling. How to keep that during the coloration process, because I tend to abandon the super deformities and lock down to like realistic proportions or whatever, like a step towards realism, because I'm using color, and I think I'm missing the point. I need to get to a place where I'm confident enough with the things that I'm building that I can allow them to remain distorted during the coloration process and trust that it's gonna look good and keep my workload simpler. But I haven't figured that part out yet. It's a thing. It's a compulsion that I have to overprove my ability, like to try hard too often. So I think once I break that cycle, I'm going to be able to really crack out some just like really intuitive, expressionist type of shit in horror. And that content definitely lends itself more towards the Cthulhu body horror end of the spectrum of art. And yet I don't do a lot of horror themed or Cthulhu type stuff. God, this guy looks fucking great. That's a good sketch, man. That's a really fucking good sketch. So I'm going to leave that be. We're going to move on to the next one. Well, I'm going to drop that down to size, and I want to go back and clean up this foot here. That just got wished into existence. Holy shit. Stuff. I just get to turn off my brain and let the pen run, and when it says I'm done, it's like, wow, okay, cool, good job. Next. It's amazing. It's Samsara, man. The state of unity with the whole. It's the eternal state. Samsara is just a fucking amazing place to hang out and smoke a cigarette, you know? I'm very, very blessed to be able to enter that realm. Hell yeah, my guy. You're looking good. All right, we're good here. I just want to do a little bit of line clean up, just to clean up the edges a little bit, get rid of the grit. Every time I do a book, I sincerely say, man, I would love to just work in this style. Just this style. I never do it. Oh, how I wish I will. There we go. Looking good, my guy. All right, let's stitch that one up. What a fucking winner. Holy crap. Ass in. Hey, look, Vaughn, I'm alphabetizing. Because this is a huge priority right now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I fucker something up? Checking, just to make sure I didn't tuck something away on accident. So far, so good. It's a lot. Yep. There, get rid of that one. Or, hide it one, too. Let's hit save real quick before something crazy happens. Zip! Thanks. That one turned out pretty damn good. What's the next thing on our list? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Zabadoo. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you. Random.org. Rolls a 2. All right. White it is. Yeah, I think you could use some work, buddy. This one's already looking pretty damn good. Clean up aisle me. Cute little piece of filigree there with your little skull face. Like, this is a pretty intense level of detail we've got going on here. But it's still fuzzy, right? So now I get to go in and I get to lock down the details specifically inside of this. Getting a really Predator Alien sort of feeling. Yout does. I guess if Aliens was in Eberron, the xenomorphs would be Dalkir, the human mutating humanoid demon creatures, and then the Yauta predator hunters. That would be like the Hobgoblin clan, like what's the word? Oh, Dargoon. The Dargoon Shogunates. That'd be cool. I'd play that. I'd love to do a Dargoon. What would you call it? I can't believe the words are completely blanking on me right now. Daimyo, thank you. A Dargoon Daimyo campaign where it's like the culture is framed around like samurai honor culture, kind of like Rokugan. Like I could easily import Rokugan into Dargoon in Eberron. The hobgoblins used to, and the bugbears like the greenskins. There's the Dakini, I think that's what they're called. The intelligent goblin artificers that thousands of years ago had a society that spanned the entire planet of just like Boros Izzet style goblins creating magical machinery to better the world. And then they got too bold and the world exploded on them and they got knocked to the Stone Age. And then the humanoid, the humankind rose, like the elves and the dwarves and the gnomes, the current common races rose and took that mantle. But during that period, there was the Dargoon was a feudal society of warlords, kind of like Mongols, like in that Asian medieval space somewhere, vaguely. A non-appropriatingly blend of different Asian cultures into that steppeland environment, and so it's pretty cool. But I would enjoy honestly running a campaign like that. In my Spelljammer space opera campaign that orbits Eberron. They're basically the greenskin army, like with the mammoth ships and the scorpions and the arrows, the little goblin arrow fighter craft. That's all green, like the orc arm, or like the Skro army. Orcs spelled backwards as Skro because they're the Astartes of the greenskins, like genetically bred super soldiers, Skro. Like CR6 each, and there's thousands of them. Like, yeah, they have to be that tough to be able to survive long enough to get close enough to stab a blade into a beholder before it disintegrates their entire battalion. Like that's the kind of shit they're trained for, and they're Space Marine hardcore, and they had the Scorpion ships that they'd run around. They grab on and tear ships apart with their metal craft. The mammoths. Like 300 foot long ships, like 80 feet wide, just basically giant hockey pucks of destruction that would ram, like it was like thick stone and metal would encase its front end, so it had like this massive blunt ram that would just punch through shit, and then it would drop off the Goblin Arrow craft like 15 feet in comparison to like the 300 foot mammoth craft. So it would have like 50 of them clipped to the bottom of its belly. And when it deploys, it'd smash through a barricade, and then it would deploy all these arrows, and it'd go, and it'd just be like 50 of these little fuckers coming at you, each of them with a harpoon flinger or like a light ballista. Shred shit. Awesome stuff. And so the space operas I run, it's the Dargoon that run that sort of an army. So the Dakini and the Dargoon basically teamed up to be able to start carving out a space for themselves against the mammals again, and so they're a viable, like they're a counter piracy. They're like privateers, basically brigands more than anything else, stealing ships and tech off the human nations to be able to gear up their own military so that they can start carving out a larger piece of territory for themselves. And now they're directly competing against the pirates of Lazar. because they're basically using the same water lines to or skyways to loot. They're looting the same stuff, basically. I like this song a lot. I want to see if I can, hold on, I want to go on a tangent real quick. Let's go to, where is it? Don't mind me just recklessly going through my computer on live stream. Desktop. There we go. Oh, that's not it. Where the fuck is it? Oh, here we go. Let's see. D&D. Columbia Crew. Green Teeth. Is that what I wanted? No. Scorpion, Shattered Ship, Tradesman. Where is it? I want to find it. It was a particular illustration that I wanted. Dark Sun, no. Shattered Eberron. Ship, Scorpions, Shattered Crevaire, Tradesman. God damn it, where are you? What a distraction. Pirates. Maybe it's just in the Pirates folder. Doesn't look like it. This is all the random stuff that I put in my games. Boats, Death Spider, Deal Breaker, Pirate Adventure. Maybe it's in boats. Hold on. Nah, it's just a random galleon that I built. Come on, man, you're embarrassing me in front of all my friends. I know. Now I'm just compelled. Deal Breaker. No. Death Spider. No. I wanted to show the Karnath Death Carriers that I built. Hold on. That's what I'm trying to find. I guess I'll just go through each one by one. Gestalt, no. E6 shattered. Characters, creature tokens, shattered, worldviews, Tears of Woe, character. Can I complete that task? Okay, that looks like a nope. I'm about to give up. Ooh. Map. Deal breaker. Nope, that was a file. I think I should probably quit, huh? That's a shame. Monsters. Pirates. We just work here. Paul Manor. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna have to give up. Damn, I'm sorry guys. What a waste of time. Zorak. Pink. Yeah, I don't. Oh well, I'm gonna have to give up. It was like a 500-foot long carrier craft with a giant skull in the front of it. I don't know where it's hiding right now, but when I find it, I'll post it on my Discord so you guys can swing by and check that stuff out. There's a link down below. Sorry, major tangent there. Pointless. I don't think I embarrassed myself there with anything in my files. I'm sure somebody will let me know if I did. Everything should be okay. That feels pretty good. That's pretty awesome. What did I miss? Nope, I didn't miss nothing. Cool. muscular characters. There we go. We're almost done. What's up? Hello, Witch. Hello. Heathen Witch. Ah, well, cheers. Welcome to you. Welcome to the channel. I don't think you've been here before. I create D&D stuff. This is an adventure for 8th level characters playing Dungeons and Dragons in the Eberron campaign setting. Here's the book cover that we created for it. I'm going to change the font up here for Crystals in a Bar, but for the meantime, this is all pretty good stuff. So here's the book cover for the book. Everything in here is symbolic about something. The tunnels, the characters themselves, the locations, top side, the symbol, the moon, the eye, the glade, the overgrowth, the fog on the ground, the Ivar's black tentacle thing around the crystal shooting the beam out from underneath ground through this ruins up into the sky to hit the moon. It's all plot points and things that happen in the adventure. And there's 6 different plot hooks, different reasons why your character would be in this adventure with your team in the first place. And in each one of these characters represents a different faction that offers you a quest. So they're being represented by these characters. And if I need to have recurring characters present in illustrations inside of the content of the book itself, I can refer back to these specific characters on the cover as my iconics for the adventure. So we're creating monster token arts right now. These are things like, this is a black and white version, but we'll colorize these things next. But this black and white, this is something that can be printed out on a laser printer, like really cheap, just burn it in, like no color. But we'll have a colorized version as well for like virtual tabletops, people using online. So it's pretty common for the work that I do to work like that. Like for the Spelljammer book that I'm building, I did like 80 tokens, like ship tokens, creature tokens, NPC tokens from the Lazaraxis adventure. So it's like you can see all of that process from like episode 80 to like 160 for the Spelljammer stream that I have for the artwork in the mornings. You can check that out on my channel if you want. So I'm almost happy with this specific line art. So we'll put an X on it and move on to the next one. And just keep punching through these things until I'm happy with them. And once we get through the second wave, we'll then start working in color. These should be strong enough as just sketches here for us to lay down as black-white tokens. Yeah, right on. Oh, hello. Did not recognize you, Erica. Erica is one of my companions in the Strahd adventure that I get to participate in on Saturdays every other week. It's the only game that this Forever DM is participating in right now, and it is a hell of a lot of fun. I have to be careful about the type of architecture I put in on this armor plating. Make sure that I'm not creating any false images. This is me turning off my brain and just letting the machine do what it wants to do. I become a vessel, a thing for the muse to express herself through. I get to sit back and watch it happen with the rest of y'all. It is holy time. It is samsara for me. It is 0 point energy where I do not age in this space of production. It is blessed to be here, and I am thrilled to share it with y'all and to be here around when you guys are here too. Maybe some of that vibe can reach through the monitor and give you guys a sense of inspiration and reason to keep living for another year. I like that tilt, but I feel like I need to shift it. So let's cut and tub. Yeah, that actually helped. All right, that guy looks fucking great. As far as like a black and white token to just burn out on a printer, this thing's hype. Feels pretty good. It was good. Cool. All right, that guy's good. Do I want to fuck with his feet some more? Yes. The feet are a little simple compared to all the other grandeur. So let's glam up his legs a bit, and then we'll kick him down to the pill. I think I was in text. Head off. Right on. Hey, thanks for swinging by, Arca. You're wonderful. Thank you. I will see you next week, Sister Soldier. Burp, 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 burp. There we go. That feels good. Barefoot soldier. Want to know the quality of your military? Check their footwear. I don't know who said that. Someone said that. Somebody more famous than me said that. Just don't hold me accountable to who. I can't remember offhand. much like that. Okay, that feels pretty good. I think I can be content with that. Nope. I say it so I can hear it, so I know if I mean it, and I don't. I don't mean it, not yet. There we go. Now we're good. So we can clean this one up. How are we doing on timing? Oh wow, we're doing great. The conversion of Lyzaraxis at the second appendix of the Spelljammer book. I've gotten through 9 of the 23 pages this week so far. So it looks like we're going to get the page layouts and then be able to layer in all the maps and tokens and stuff. We should be able to layer that in just fine for January, along with the other artwork that we're doing on stream. Looks like we're going to hit it'll probably be like the last week of January, possibly even the first week of February. But we're doing really good as far as production is going at this point. Everything's moving very, very smoothly for the Spelljammer project. So, hey-oh. It's my alarm. Thank you. Time to take a sip. So I'm really excited about that. Like, ridiculous. It's the best work I've ever done. For sure. There. This guy's pretty fucking dope. So we'll go ahead and stop there with him. Stitch up Ye Old White. Let's create our X. And let's bump. Wrong X. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so let's go back to ye old random.org. Random.org. Loading in. Let's go with a 9-sided die over here, and we get a 7. Yeah, we're up to speed. Cool. All right, no, lucky number 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Roper. Oh, the Roper. Let's see how you go. Crazy little Herbalaboop. Let's duplicate the layer real fast and bump, and we'll just carve on this guy. Make him be all he can be. When I first built these tendrils, they were kind of an afterthought, but now that we're going into more detail work, I can really focus on where are these things coming from. This will be another fun autonomic adventure. Looking forward to it. Whew. I can feel her chomping at the bit already. Go for it, cat. Ain't no one holding you back, sister. You just rage on. Erase and move these away from the structure and integrate them more properly after the fact, which is the same conversation I had initially, and then I didn't successfully do it. But now I know the language I want to use for the buddings, like these little stumps that are coming off of its Otherwise, stony frame. I don't want these stumps up here, though. Yeah, something more like that. I don't know what's going on with these little pockmark things, but I think it's pretty cool. Super fucking fun. Position. That's pretty cool. Alright. We're doing good here. 9 o'clock. I still got 20 minutes left. So let's tell you what. Let's work our way through this this roper, and then we'll probably cut it for the day. And once the Spelljammer book is done in January, we'll be doing this type of work in the mornings from now on. And any auxiliary Spelljammer stuff that we end up producing, like little 10-page ideas and stuff like that, tear outs. We'll be able to work on those like on Saturday or Thursday or whatever. Alongside the Martial Powers Project and the Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rule 2024 update. Looking forward to all that shit. It's going to be cool. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. That feels pretty good. Is the Rupa. I don't want like roots, like tree roots. I want pseudo like stumps, like little slug-like stumps that it can creep along crab style like. That's how these things move. This guy is great. Almost there. Stay on target. Looking good. Looking good for the mood. Lobby pseudo potty bits at the end. Like that. Where's my music at, dude? Thank you. Like, I know there's music around here somewhere. Just about where we want to be. Not quite there yet. Almost there though. This will be my last piece for tonight. That feels right. It feels really good. I'm happy with that. Burp, 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 like that. These tentacles are probably going to need a second go over, but I don't have the emotional fortitude at the moment to be able to endure that painstaking process. I'm going to have to attack that when we're fresh next time. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here like that. I can afford to make it a bit bigger. Which will probably invite me to try again to go over the whole thing, to do a little bit better detail. I might reconsider how those eye lumps are working. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with that piece. So I think this is, yeah, I'm going to hit the brakes here for the night. And how long are we going at this? Hour and a half? Okay. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and hit save here. I'm going to be back. It is it's 9 o'clock now. I'm going to be back in approximately 9.5 hours-ish to continue working on the Spelljammer illustration that we've been having in the morning. I'll be back for the martial powers at lunchtime to finish Selesnya and Simic backgrounds from the Ravnica campaign setting, so that we can start building martial power characters next week for the playtest. And yeah, so that's where we're at. So hey, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notifications when we're live in the future. You can check out my Discord channel down below, my my Twitter account, as well as my Patreon if you want to support me. Buy books. They're in the description down below. I really appreciate your support, your help motivate me to continue building these massive projects here on stream. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the future. Thanks a lot. I'm out of here.